Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hazeeq and we're taking a look at Algorand in this video. I want to say that I'm not a financial advisor and let's get straight into it. Taking a look at the CoinMarketCap page, this is sitting at $1.83 billion market cap. The circulating supply is sitting at 82.7% of the total supply, which is 10 billion. And that is really good tokenomics there. The big question is whether Algorand will be breaking past its previous all-time high. Now let's jump into the charts. Now starting off with the daily chart, what we did in our previous update is we set up a Fibonacci retracement from that top in March to the bottom in August 2023. Which is our bear market bottom. So we had this massive rally over here and then a retracement, and we set this fib up to see which levels can we retrace back to, and the 0.786 at 11 cents was an amazing buying opportunity. If you manage to get in at that point, you are sitting at roughly 101%. So you made it 2x from November 5th all the way up to November 15th. So 15 days to double your investment. I think that is pretty good. And this is an older coin, as you are well aware. And there is a very, very high chance that all of these older coins will not pass the previous all-time highs, especially if they have not been performing very well in the previous 6 months. And we're going to take a look on the weekly chart to see what Algorand's price predictions are, in my opinion. But based on the Fibonacci retracement, we bounced off the 786 twice, and from there we went all the way up to the 0.236, which is our resistance level at the moment. That's 24 cents. I think once we break that, we can be targeting the top here at 33 cents, which is our March top. You can see the 0.236 was also a level we rejected back in December 2023, and over here briefly in April 2024 when we printed that lower high after this high in March. So there is some confluence in that area. So stay on the lookout for this 24-cent region. And if you're looking to get into Algorand at the moment, I would say wait until we have a back test of the 20 MA on the daily. That is going to be a really good area to look at, as well as this previous local top from July 2024 and the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement at 16.5 cents. And that is, of course, if you have this Fibonacci set up. We're gonna switch over to the RSI just briefly. You can see we got very overbought and very quickly. So I would not recommend buying Algorand at the current prices. Of course, this is not financial advice. We could continue rallying from here without any stops whatsoever, but generally speaking, after we have a move to the upside, we tend to see a retracement. So 19.5 cents is another area you can target. If you want to set up some buy limit orders in advance, you can always do that. In case you're sleeping, working, traveling, these limit orders will get executed if the price dips to the price you set up in the limit order, obviously. And if we take a look at the RSI, you want to come back down into this middle range. So for example, you can take a look at this area over here. We had 2 bounces off of that region, one over here and then one over here. Perhaps this will be our support moving forward at 56.3. We also kind of had the similar bounce off of that level over there. So make sure you take a look at the RSI on the daily whenever we have these massive pumps, because if you're sitting above the index of 70, this means the asset is overbought. And when it is overbought, the likelihood of a retracement is far greater than when you're sitting all the way down here. So I hope that makes sense. Let's switch over to the weekly chart. And before we continue with the video, I want to give a quick shout out to my Patreon. If you're interested in getting more exclusive content, you want to support me as a creator, and you like what you're seeing here on YouTube and you want more, feel free to check out the Patreon. That's definitely a place for you. There's a 7-day free trial, which means you can get access to all of my content since the inception of the page. So that means you get podcasts, low cap gems, technical analysis, project reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. We try to do posts there on a daily basis. We cover airdrops and a lot of stuff that we don't really cover on YouTube because we don't have as much time. And of course, because patrons get more stuff and more content. And if you're interested in that, the link is down below in the description. Thank you all. Let's continue on with the video. All right, taking a look at the weekly chart now. We've got this 5-wave structure. So wave 1 was completed in March 2024. Wave 2 was completed in October 2024. And now hopefully we've entered wave 3, which is usually the biggest wave of the Elliott wave structure. And this could potentially take us to, in my opinion, at least $1.24 if this performs well. If there is some FUD, if the SEC gets involved with Algorand or something bearish happens, and we don't get to $1.24 by, let's say March 2025, if we're in March 2025 and we're not doing anything, then we have to start questioning whether Algorand can even retest the previous all-time high. That's something very important to understand, because if you take a look at these areas from March 2022, from October 2022, which is a very important resistance we haven't broken above, unfortunately, with this rally in March. So if we can break above these levels here, then we should really start thinking about where we're going to be taking profits. Now, I do hold Algorand at the moment. All of my trades are available on Patreon, like I said, with a 7-day free trial earlier in the ad. So if you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing with my Algorand, you can check that out. But we're going to remove the Elliott wave structure for just a second. We're going to take a look at this area over here. This blue support block that you're seeing, I've had this for probably 2 years at this point. We set this up a very long time. Was it 2 years? Well, yeah, probably a year and a half, something like that. So we set up this pattern based on this March 2020 bottom, which is where the candle closed, and the wick. Here you can see the wick and the candle closure. So based on this, we set up this block. We've retested it multiple times. Every single time we got into it, we had a rally afterwards. So this was a really good buying opportunity, especially this area below. This was extreme fear. As you can see, the RSI was very low at that point. The stochastic wasn't as low. There was a bit of a divergence there, but in general, that was a really good buying price. You were printing all-time lows for Algorand during the bear market, and now we're having a move to the upside from that exact same block again. We can readjust this support trend line just so we have it for future reference in case we have a retracement, in case there's a massive correction. We can always target the green trend line for entries, as we've already had 2 bounces off of this green trend line in the past, which means it's very likely we're going to see another bounce whenever we have the next retracement, or if there is a massive sell-off. Now, taking a look at the Fibonacci retracement here, let's see what's happening. We've set up the fib from the August bottom last year to the all-time high in September 2021, and the 0.382 at the moment is going to be a massive resistance level we need to break. Otherwise, things aren't going to be looking very good for Algorand. A lot of projects during this March rally were actually able to break past their 0.382 and even their 0.618 level, and that meant that they're in a very bullish state. So that cannot be said about Algorand, unfortunately. At the moment, we're running into the same resistance here as we did back in February 2023, and hopefully the third time around we're going to be able to penetrate that resistance, back test it as support, and then have a massive explosion to the upside. That is the current hope of the Algorand holders. Whether that is going to play out or not, we'll have to wait and see. We can also spot this ascending triangle. So we have those 2 points of contact, and then we have these 2 points of contact. So you have an ascending support trend line, and you have a horizontal resistance, and you keep going up and down, and every time you come down you have a higher low, but you're bouncing off the exact same resistance level. So potentially once you break out, you're going to have a pretty solid target to the upside. What is that target going to be like? We can take a trend line from the resistance there all the way down to the support, and then we can place it at the potential breakout point. It doesn't really matter where you place it because it's going to be the same thing. And we have our target around 47 cents, which lines up nicely with the October 2022 top. So we'll see if that plays out properly. But at the moment, we need to break this resistance from January, like I said, and March 2024. Very, very important. So that was February, March 2023, and March 2024. That's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. We can also add a Fibonacci retracement over here just so we can have a better idea of what our 1.618 is on this smaller fractal, 51 cents. So if you break this top at 28 cents, you're going to be looking at 51 cents as your technical target. So that's also a really good thing. You did blast through the golden ratio here, which is really nice. You can see the golden ratio. Let me remove the bigger fib so it's not as confusing. The golden ratio over here at 19 cents, we blasted through that, but we're running into the 786 as resistance. And usually when you blast through the golden ratio like that, the chances of retesting the top are very high. And taking a look at the RSI on the weekly, as you can see, we had a pretty significant move to the upside. This green box I gave you a while ago, and I told you that was a good area to accumulate in. So yeah, we've had a nice move. If you still haven't entered Algorand, I'd probably say wait for a little bit before doing that and be patient. Have an exit strategy and evaluate the situation. If Algorand does not perform as well as other tokens, doesn't live up to expectation, you have to consider thinking about entering other coins that are performing much better, that are in more bullish niches, and the ones that have better marketing and better hype. But of course, I'm not saying you have to sell at a loss or sell at all. It's up to you. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe and goodbye.